Hey everybody, so I'm back with another video advice question, and this one is from @Tashimi on Twitter, and she actually asked me this a while ago, so Tashimi, I apologize for taking forever to answer you, but here you go. It's a two-part question. The first part is, how long do I think is the right amount of time to wait after leaving one long-term relationship before getting into another? And the second part of the question is, if you only wait a short period of time between two long-term relationships, does that mean that you didn't really love the first person? So I'm actually probably not the right person to ask a question like this, A, because I just haven't been in a lot of long-term relationships, and B, because I'm not even all the way over my first one, as those of you who've been reading my blog for a long time know. But I'm nothing if not opinionated, and I obviously have an opinion on this. So popular wisdom dictates, and by popular wisdom I mean women's magazines, that you should take 1 month for every year that you were in that relationship to get over it, or I've also read 1 week for every month. So it would take you 5 months to get over a 5-year relationship, or 5 weeks to get over a 5-month relationship. And although that's pretty arbitrary, I do find that in general that tends to be a pretty accurate rule of thumb. But obviously there are other things to consider, such as how it ended and whether or not you have closure, and how strongly you felt about the person, and I would imagine probably also whether it was your choice or their choice to end the relationship. Things like that often factor into it. But so for me, what I usually tend to do, I have 2 barometers that I use to determine whether I'm really over something and ready to get into something else. So the first one is whether or not I can picture myself marrying the person that I'm with. This is, and this might be an age thing. I don't know. I think if you're younger, this might not be as big of a concern, but I don't really get involved in relationships with people that I couldn't picture myself marrying at the very least. And so if I'm trying to picture marrying the person that I'm with, and what I see is him, but also in front of him, the one who came before, then I don't think I'm really ready. If I think, I would marry this person if the last guy doesn't want to marry me, or before I could say yes to this person, I'd have to go and check and make sure that the last guy is really truly done with me, then I know I'm not really ready to be into anything real or serious with this person, because I'm still thinking of him in the context of the last person. So that's my gauge number 1. My gauge number 2 is kind of weird, and I actually feel a little bit shy to tell you guys this, but it has to do with sex. If I'm really into someone, I'm in a long-term relationship and a monogamous relationship with someone, then it doesn't, then I don't really want to have sex with anybody else, or I might want to, but I don't really want to, you know what I mean? So if I try to have sex with someone new when I'm still fixated on the person before, it won't really work. And this is why I say try. It's like my body will reject the new guy, it will not allow this invasive penis to enter it. You know what I mean? And that's kind of a pretty obvious sign that you're not really ready to be doing what you're doing. So that's kind of extreme, but I do think that sex is a pretty good gauge, particularly for women, because they do tend to associate emotions and sex a lot more closely than men and I do. I think if you are trying to be intimate with somebody new and it feels wrong or creepy, or you keep thinking about your ex, then that's also a really good gauge that you're not ready to be into anything serious. But I mean, obviously the most important thing is what feels right for you. There is no hard and fast rule. I've had 3-year relationships that I've gotten over in a second because of where I was mentally and emotionally by the time we got to that point. And then I've had 3 or 4 month dalliances, not even real relationships, that have kicked my ass and have taken me forever to get past. So it really depends on you and what feels right for you. As far as the second question goes, if it so happens that you are able to make a quick transition from your previous relationship to your first one, does that mean you didn't really love the first guy? I would say of course not. There are a lot of different factors at play, and I really don't think the one has anything to do with the other. I think that you could be in a relationship with someone and love them and care for them and want the best for them and think they're amazing, but also recognize that it's not going anywhere and it can't go anywhere. And then I think it's a little bit easier for you to just get into that next thing that is right and does have a future. And that's not at all to say that you didn't love the last person. I think if you're still thinking about the one, actually think that if you're thinking about the next guy in relation to the ex guy, as in, if I can be into this new guy, then that must mean I didn't really love the last guy. I look at those as two distinct things. And if you're still looking them as being connected or dependent upon one another, that to me is a gauge that you're not really ready. But at the end of the day, like I said, it's really up to you and how you feel and what you're comfortable with. And it's nice to hear my opinion or the opinion of the readers and commenters, and you'll get some perspective and some interesting points of view. But at the end of the day, we're all going home to our respective beds, and we're good with our lives, and you're the one that has to pay the price for the choices that you make. And this is a really personal thing, and it really, what feels right for you may not make sense to anybody else. But if it feels right and you're comfortable, and at the end of the day, even if the whole thing blows up in your face, you still feel like you made the right choice, then I think you're good to go. So that's my answer to the question. Readers, commenters, naysayers, hecklers, weigh in and let her know what you think is the right amount of time to wait between long-term relationships. And if you have any more advice questions, because this is my last one, send me an email, follow me on Twitter, ask me, find a way so that I can make some more videos. Okay, thanks.